How's it going, everyone? My name is RJ and welcome to my first ever hands-on impressions with the new Z Flip 4. We are in my car right now because I don't have time to go home and start filming this, but I wanted to unbox and give you guys my first raw impressions on the Z Flip 4 as soon as I had a chance to get my hands on this device. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. I have a lot of upcoming videos on both the Z Flip 4 and the Z Fold 4, so if you're a Samsung lover, this is definitely the channel to be for the next little while. With that being said though, I know a lot of you decided to skip the Z Flip 3 and you were all waiting on to see what Samsung can do with the Z Flip 4. So let's find out if this could be your next smartphone. The thing about the Z Flip 4 that makes it such an enticing option for so many people is the pocketable portability. It's kind of wild to think about, but this tiny pocketable form factor can be unfolded into a massive 6.7-inch rectangular slab of glass. I don't know about you guys, but to me that's innovation right there, and that's what I've always appreciated about Samsung. They aren't afraid to push the boundaries and test the limits of innovation. Okay, so first impressions hands-on with the Z Flip 4. Everyone wants to know how the hinge feels this year, and to me it feels a little bit more rigid than what I'm accustomed to on the Z Flip 3. There is a little bit more resistance when unfolding the Z Flip 4 this year. Resistance to me on foldables is always a good sign. It means that the overall durability of the hinge has improved. I love this new matte blue color. Initially, I wasn't sure how much I would actually like it because online it did look a bit off to me, but man, in person this color looks amazing. The bezels this year are a little bit thinner, the hinge this year is a little bit slimmer, and the crease this year is a little bit less prominent. I mean, a lot of people love to make fun of the fact that this phone does have a crease. But I mean, come on man, this is a foldable phone. It's rocking a 6.7-inch 1080p 120Hz AMOLED display that folds in half. Of course it's gonna have a crease, like this isn't magic, but it's close enough. Either way, the crease this year is a little bit less prominent than last year, meaning that when you do scroll through the phone, your fingers won't take a dive as much in the center of the display. This phone retails for $8,000, and if you did pre-order this, you got yourself a really good deal. For $8,000, I was able to get a 256GB storage Z Flip 4 with 8GB of RAM. Not to mention, right now, there are some incredible trading deals for both the Z Flip 4 and the Z Fold 4, so if you guys do want to pre-order this phone, there are links in the description below. The Z Flip 4 weighs 4 grams more than the Z Flip 3. Now, 4 grams is what I would consider to be a negligible amount. But with that extra 4 grams, Samsung has done a lot on this phone under the hood. This year, the Z Flip 4 is packing a beefier 3700 mAh battery. That's about an 8% increase in battery capacity from last year. Now, I'm assuming a bigger battery combined with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 Plus chipset this year is going to give this phone some pretty good screen on times. The Flip 3 had terrible screen on times. It wasn't even enough to get me through half a day's of usage. So I'm curious to test out the battery and report back to you guys sometime next week. Speaking of the battery, the charging times have vastly improved this year. The Flip 4 can now charge at a speed of 25 watts. You're looking at around 50% battery life in about 25 minutes. So not only do we get a bigger battery this year, but we also get improved charging speeds. I don't know, it's still too early to tell, but if the battery life can hold up to its promise, this phone will be selling like hotcakes. A major W for Samsung. The Z Flip 4 does come with wireless charging, but if you do have a car wireless charger in your car like I do, you won't be able to charge this phone unless it's fully open. When the phone is folded, it's too small, hence it doesn't align with my car's charging coils. I've already watched a few YouTube videos on this phone, and to me the dual speaker setup sounds a bit better. The speakers were already plenty good on the Z Flip 3, so to see Samsung take it up a notch with the speaker quality is a nice surprise. I did have a chance to test out the cameras for a bit earlier today, and so far I've been impressed. We're looking at a dual rear camera setup with a 12MP wide and a 12MP ultra wide. There is no telephoto, and to me that does feel like a miss, especially considering other Samsung devices in this price range do come with a telephoto. But I guess you are sacrificing form factor for the telephoto lens with the Flip lineup. What's unique to foldables and the Flip lineup in general is the fact that we can take pictures without ever having to unfold the device. If you double press on the power button, you now have access to the best cameras this phone has to offer, along with a decent viewfinder. Swipe up and down to change between the lenses, and swipe right to access video. The portrait shots out of the Z Flip 4 are definitely improved this year, and these pictures I took of myself did turn out pretty great. The shots coming out of the Z Flip 4's primary cameras are pretty good. The dynamic range is there, the color accuracy is there, and overall the images do look like they were shot on a flagship device. The images coming out of this phone though still have that signature Samsung look. There is noticeable oversaturation in some of these shots, and sometimes these images do look a bit too vibrant. If you are after the true to life natural look that's found on Pixel devices and iPhones, you won't be finding that on the Z Flip 4. At the end of the day, it's all a matter of preference, and some of these shots do look pretty good. You can shoot at 4K at 60fps, and to me the video quality is decent. The video does look smooth, the stabilization is great, and overall I'd be content with posting these clips on social media. I know a lot of people are calling the Z Flip 4 a more well well-refined version of the Z Flip 3, but I have to disagree. To me, this feels like a huge upgrade, not a little refinement. The battery is bigger, the bezels are thinner, the speakers sound better, the cameras have improved, and the hinge does feel a bit more rigid. All of this while the price does remain the same at $999. Samsung is definitely onto something here with these foldable devices. And each and every single year, Samsung is making the necessary improvements to get these foldable phones into the hands of average consumers. Yes, the Z Fold 4 is out of budget for many people, but the Z Flip 4 is rounding out to be a pretty good bargain. Now might be the time to hop on board. If you made it till the end of this video, drop a peach emoji down in the comments below so I know exactly who you guys are. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. A lot of fire Samsung content is on the way. As always, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to flex with your foldable tech.